Hello and welcome to another episode of Debriefing. I'm your host, Lucky Fox Zero, and with me again is one of my best friends, Nogri Knights.
Hello.
And my brother, Radiant Arkwolf.
What up, Briefcakes?
And today we will be playing through Episode 3, Chapter 4, Shootout in Valhalla, and we're going to be talking about the vehicles of Halo 4. So I think first thing we should talk about is the Warthog. It's been in every game. It's pretty much a staple and an icon of the Halo verse, and I think it's still pretty good in Halo 4, even though I feel like its sound in Halo 4 is like an RC car.
True.
And what's up with the gas cans? I thought it ran on like future magic technology.
I think in Forza 4 they actually lay out everything that it runs on. I believe they said it was fusion there, but it's been such a long time since I watched that video that I don't remember at all.
So it doesn't run on hopes and dreams and the tears of the fallen?
Well, you know, it runs on Marines.
Green blood.
Their sacrifice.
Their sacrifice.
But yeah, I mean,
it drives better now, especially compared to Halo 1. I mean, Halo 1, it drives like a brick. It drives terrible.
It has no traction.
I think it's awful. But I think progressively they've gotten a little bit better as the games move. So I don't like cringe when I'm in a vehicle part whereas before in Halo 1, it's like, this is terrible. But in 4, it actually is okay.
I would agree with that. I mean, it is pretty much like the most ubiquitous vehicle in Halo. You use it in the escape level from Halo 1. You see it expanded on in Halo 2 with the Warthog and the Missile Hog. I mean, you see that in 1 on multiplayer, but I don't think you ever see it in the main game.
No, you don't.
But yeah, I mean, it's been around forever as far as Halo is concerned.
My favorite is the Gauze Hog. I wish it was a little up-armored. Like, I wish it was heavier than the normal gun hog so it could take more damage, because you generally are fighting wraiths and stuff with it, but overall, it's still my favorite vehicle. I'm glad it was introduced in Halo 2, but it really hasn't changed that much in Halo 4. Although I do agree with both of y'all's assessments that the driving controls and the mechanics of the Warthog is better. I enjoy driving it in Halo 4. But let's talk about the Scorpion! I know that is Nogri's favorite.
Personally, my favorite vehicle.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's something I very rarely get in multiplayer, but it is my favorite vehicle. It's always been my favorite vehicle. I'm just one of those people who is at home playing vehicles, and the Scorpion's like, if almost one of the more perfect vehicles I've played in a game. The only exception is they don't really have much protection for the driver, so it feels more like a anti-tank or a tank destroyer than it does an actual tank. But
yeah,
that being said, it does a great job at what it's designed to do, which is murder stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the Halo 4 Scorpion is pretty similar to previous iterations. There's not that much that's different about it.
I mean,
You're an aficionado, but honestly, I can't really tell much of a difference.
I feel like the turn rate's a little bit slower, but
I thought that was gonna work.
And obviously you have the introduction of the the machine gun turret from Halo 2, which
I think that was in Halo 3.
Was it in Halo 3?
I think it was Halo 3.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Where a second player can control the machine gun?
Yes.
That's Halo 3.
I know it was in Halo 3.
That was introduced in Halo 3.
Okay. Well, that was disappointing for me because I liked having the coaxial machine gun as well.
Yeah, but I liked that change because it made it more of a two-player vehicle than a standalone complex. But yeah, not much has really changed about the Scorpion. So what has changed? Let's talk about the Ghost.
Seems tougher in Halo 4 than in 2. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It just feels more difficult to destroy. I don't know if they... Maybe I'm an idiot, but I could like, get the sweet spot in Halo 2, and I just can't do it in 4. Maybe... but I just can't hit that sweet spot where you hit the side of it and it blows up.
I think that it's the amount of damage that it can take in Halo 4 is most similar to Halo 2. Now right here we're seeing the Pelicans, and they look very different than the Pelicans of the previous games, and us three have definitely coined the term the Hind Pelican, because it's very reminiscent of the Russian Hind heavy armored helicopter. And we'll talk about more of those.
Flying tank.
Yeah, basically a flying tank, and we'll talk a little bit more about those later on. But back to the Ghost, I feel like the Halo 3 Ghost was more of a hot rod, couldn't take many hits, because it was supposed to be balanced against the brute chopper thing, which was stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like the Halo 4 Ghost is about right. I don't feel like they utilize it constructively. But
yeah, it seems a lot more like it's a raid or reconnaissance vehicle rather than the kind of mobile turret that it tends to be used as by the AI, which might be, going back to our discussion on the AI stuff, it might be just bad AI on development part rather than
any sort of design that is inherent to the vehicle. I see what you're saying. Overall, I think the Ghost is also very iconic of Halo, and I feel like its implementation has been pretty good. Except that one part in the campaign where you have to fight a bunch of Banshees with the Ghost, and I don't like that. Or that whole section where you're just driving your shield or powering the Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole section.
I like that section.
Bad
it's absolutely awful if you play it on Iron.
Yeah, and co-op with Iron, it is not designed for that, and it is awful.
I don't know, as a level development thing, I think it's interesting and cohesive with other Halo levels, i.e. the last level in Halo 1.
If you're gonna do the Ghost run on Iron, you're gonna have a bad time.
You're gonna have a bad time. But I think that it's interesting for me. It breaks up that level pretty well. So I know, Fox, that you don't like it, but I enjoy it. Just not co-op. Just don't do a co-op. Just do it on your own.
So I think that about covers the Ghost.
Yeah.
So
now,
good.
everyone's favorite, the Wraith. Oh my God! Now I'm sure us.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure us three are not the only ones who have experienced the Ghost's omniscience, where you're in its...
The Wraith's omniscience.
Oh yeah, excuse me, the Wraith's omniscience. You're in its area of operations, and it knows where you are at all times. Oh, you hid behind that rock, you're fighting that elite. Pow! It knows.
Yes.
It always knows.
Yeah, it always knows where you are.
And that's absolutely frustrating and absolutely annoying all the time. But I mean, it's definitely something that's been around since Halo 1. And I suppose, like, it's not going to just forget about you when you hide behind a rock, but I feel like there should be some balance between it always knowing where you are and it not forgetting about you.
Yeah, there's a difference between being prepared and always, like, being through walls and ignoring cover. I remember in Halo 3 there's some levels with the races around, and you just spawned and it knew where you were and it didn't matter, and I remember that being very frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that with
Halo
ODST as well.
They have a lot of maneuverability and they have a lot of strength. And as a tank should, I'm not saying that it shouldn't, but I just want it to be a little bit fair and not not overpower me with your magic.
Yeah. So I think that about covers our beef with the tank.
Well,
beef with the Wraith, rather.
I like that the Wraith has... When the Wraith got a turret that you could kill the gunner out of and didn't just have the machine guns on the sides, it became a lot more fair. and I feel like it having the boost is good, and it having to balance itself with its, because it's basically mobile artillery and not a true tank anyway. I feel like that it is balanced pretty well, and the fact that you can come up behind it and punch it to death, that was a great addition. I mean, overall, I feel like they took a kind of awkward concept and really balanced it out fairly well. It's just my only real beef with it is the fact that it always knows. It has like Santa Claus powers. It knows when you're asleep. It knows when you're awake. It knows if you've been naughty or nice. It's the Wraith.
Indeed.
Now, some of the new vehicles, the Mantis, I feel like the Mantis was a great addition. It's kind of like a tank, but it's not really like a tank. And I feel like it kind of gives you a different take on having a tank-like vehicle. And obviously it's good against, anti-air with the missiles and the heavy machine gun, which is what we're about to do. And I really would have loved to see some level, either, this would have been better in Spartan Ops, where you had to pick between the two, and you had to like integrate the Scorpion and the Mantis together somehow, and try to take on a variety of Covenant threats. I feel like that would have been really interesting to try to negotiate with, and not like kill each other, I feel like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that when I saw the screenshots early on in Halo 4, I was a little leery having a kind of a mobile suit kind of deal, just because I've never done especially well on a smaller scale with other games. But I think that this really hits the mark. It's maneuverable enough, the HUD isn't very cluttered, I feel heavy but strong, but not overpowered, because I'm about to die. But I think that it's a good balance and a good addition. I'm curious to see how it evolves in the 343 Haloverse time moves on, but good addition.
Now, before we wrap up, I do want to make a little nod towards the heavy assault Pelican, or the angry Pelican that you can play with in campaign, that has like a tank turret on the top and machine guns on the sides. I felt like that was a great idea, but was not executed well, because the gunners on the sides do not get enough field of view to really machine gun anything. The tank turret has the same problem, on top of having to calculate the lead, while whoever's piloting gets a chain gun and a Spartan laser. So they're doing all the work anyway. So everyone else that gets to ride in the thing, they're like, oh, I get a gun too? I get to play? No, you don't. You're still getting to ride backseat anyway.
Especially compared to the Falcon and Reach.
I love the Falcon.
A great field of vision and seem more productive if you're not the lead or pilot.
Yeah, you really got to do a lot, and I really liked the inclusion of the Falcon, and for me, it really echoed some Vietnam action, and I thought that was kind of cool.
I would have liked to see the chain gun on the Falcon for the pilot as well.
I could go with that, but I don't like giving up the Falcon for this awkward, angry hind Pelican. Yeah. So, closing statements on the vehicles. I think overall they're pretty good. Still some tweaks and complaints that have kind of dogged the Halo franchise since its inception. But
as kind of the vehicle guy, for the most part, everything's fairly well balanced. My biggest gripes are implementation with the Ghost, and that's probably an AI issue rather than a vehicle issue. And the omniscient AI for the Wraith.
I don't really have any complaints either. It seems pretty balanced as an overall system. I would just echo Nogri. The fact that the Wraith always knows where I am no matter what is just... but even with my own minor gripes with the Ghost, I still like the Ghost. Yeah, I think the vehicles, it's just a balanced system.
Alright, that concludes this episode of Debriefing. And for Nogri Knights, Radiant Arkwolf, and myself, Lucky Fox Zero, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.